All right, Frank, UFC London is the location for this weekend. Now, this is a UFC Fight Pass card, so it's going to be viewed exclusively on the UFC's digital platform, but it's got an important heavyweight contenders fight as its main event. Fabricio Werdum, currently ranked number 3 among UFC heavyweights, is taking on Alexander Volkov, sitting in their number 8 position. Werdum coming off of November's win over Marcin Tibura. That was a decision victory. And Volkov last TKO'd Stefan Struve in September. Werdum with a 23-7-1 MMA record, 11-4 in the UFC. In addition to being known as a guy whose guard you do not want to find yourself in, also boasts a Muay Thai striking style. Now that is going to be matched up against Volkov's kickboxing, karate-based style, and that, in a nutshell, is our narrative here, because Volkov is a very tall, rangy heavyweight. He's 6'7". He's going to have a 3-inch height advantage and a reach advantage over Werdum. By the way, Jennifer always thinks it's funny when they talk about how a guy enjoys a height advantage. Have you ever heard that? It's always the term they use.
Yeah, actually, you're right. How they enjoy it. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. They always.
I never thought about it, but
yeah. Whenever they talk about, it's funny. She's seen enough fights now. Whenever they say that somebody's got a reach advantage, she just looks at me and she goes, "He'll enjoy that." Yeah, he's going to enjoy having that reach advantage. But Volkov will be the taller, longer fighter. He is on a 3-fight win streak. This is a guy who I don't know if it's in the
UFC, 5 fights overall. I pulled it up.
Yeah. 5 fights overall, 3 fights in the UFC, and I don't know if it's the Russian thing, the language barrier, whatever. But this is what I refer to as one of those quiet winning streaks that this guy is on. He is the epitome of a dark horse contender making his way up the ranks. That being said, though, this is going to be a real talent test for him, because this is his first challenge against any former champion within the UFC. So, on paper, it would stand to reason that Alexander Volkov would like to keep this fight standing. Fabricio Werdum might like to get it to the ground and get the longer, taller Volkov into his very active guard. What say you?
Yeah, you know what? It's a fight that I'm going to go with, and very few times do I ever really bet against Werdum. And here's just another time where I'm not going to. He's somebody that, Fabricio doesn't have great knockout power. He just genetically, is not an explosive athlete. You see that with his takedowns. You see that, that's why somebody with his jiu-jitsu expertise, he's probably one of the greatest jiu-jitsu guys competing in the heavyweight division, but his submission game is not powerful. It's not devastating. He doesn't just rip limbs off, and he's very good at sweeping, being on top, using his jiu-jitsu to gain superior position on guys. His stand-up, same way. He's not a knockout artist, but he knows how to fight with that. I don't think the height that Volkov's going to have is going to throw him that much off, because we've seen what he did against Travis Brown 2 times. He's able to strike well with those guys because he's very busy with his striking. A lot of other heavyweights that hit harder naturally tend to throw less punches because they're looking for that. They're comfortable with that 1 or 2 shots, knowing that guys fall down. Well, I think Werdum is an extremely intelligent, I know. He's a very smart guy. He knows that he can't just land and throw 1 punch and it's going to do anything to you. So he's very much of a volume guy. He throws good combinations, and actually, technically, he's a very good stand-up guy. A lot of people don't give him, I think, the credit that he deserves, because he doesn't have that scary knockout power. He doesn't feel like a threat, but he overwhelms people for 2 reasons. One, I've already stated, because he doesn't sit down and really throw hard, because it's a waste of time for him anyways. He doesn't generate any power. So he throws great combinations, and he throws kicks because he's not worried about the other reason he's a good striker. He doesn't care if you take him down. Other guys, especially heavyweights, are like turtles. They typically can't fight off their back. So if one of them throws a head kick and slips and the other guy jumps on top of him, that could be a fight-ending mistake, because most heavyweights can't get up off their back. And that's all they try to do. When's the last time anybody besides Werdum or myself you see actually fight from the bottom and be actually a dangerous threat from there? So because he has that that I think he's going to throw with unabandoned. Some of his takedowns are pretty unorthodox. His drag sit-through sweep that he used, like on Brandon Vera, he used it on Brown, is very good. He gets people down. Plus, he has no problem pulling half guard, knowing that he can sweep you, move you around. And Volkan is only a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and he has a couple submission finishes, I think 2 in all his fights. But I feel like the people that beat Werdum are guys that can out-wrestle him, keep him from being taken out, and hit him hard. Like, we saw our current, the current champion of UFC, Stipe do.
Yeah.
If you don't threaten it, and Volkan has knockouts on his record. I think about 18 or 19 when I was looking at his thing, but they're more TKOs. He overwhelms you, hits you from a distance, and just frustrates guys. I just don't see him being able to do that to Werdum. I think Fabricio is going to be a very capable striker against him on his feet, and then eventually in the scrambles, it's going to go to the ground, and he's just going to out jiu-jitsu him there and wear him out, and really be able to just dance around him in that area.
Do you think maybe Verdum's volume striking game doesn't get the credit because it's something that evolved in his career? It's not always something
fighting is kind of like first impressions.
Yeah.
Pretty much whatever you start out at, that's what people, just will know you for. It takes a lot of to curve people's minds. Go, oh, you actually are good at that now. Pretty much, it's like first impression is what people will hold. Even now with my boxing being the level it is, my hands are a huge threat. I knock people out down in fights.
Yeah.
But when people first think of me, they still think like, oh, submission guy, ground guy.
Right.
Like, well, yeah, still. And I worry, but my hands now are equally dangerous. And Fabricio, same way. I think he suffers from that his striking game evolved with his career. Yeah. We already seen him, his first stint in the UFC, he wasn't a good striker at all. He was kind of guy that pulled guard. The fight with, was it Andre? No, that was hit upon him. What was he got let by the UFC.
Dos Santos.
Yes, Dos Santos just.
Yeah, he got cut after.
Yeah, he burned him. I think it was a 15-second knockout.
Yeah.
So people kind of saw him at first that, okay, this guy's a wizard on the ground, but on his feet, he's not capable at all. Then Fabricio, he worked hard. He trained with Babalu. The guy, went down there and shoot a box and really focused on his stand-up and kept his jiu-jitsu. He didn't have a style drift. And has improved. Then he made a second stint in the UFC and went all the way to gain the heavyweight title of the world because of his stand-up. It really became, it's one of the things that if you're trained for Fabricio, you have to acknowledge that he has good stand-up. Does he have one-punch knockout power? No. But he can tag you up. He's very good with knees, throws head kicks. And again, going back to the fact that he has no fear of you taking him down. In fact, in his mind, you're doing him a favor. He'll do jumping side kicks. We've seen him jump up in the air and put himself at risk that other heavyweights would never do because in their mind, it goes, well, if I make a mistake, I'm giving up a free takedown in top position, and they don't have the skill that Fabricio does to may even begin to afford to make that mistake.